Picture this. The year's 1888, the city, London, but not the London we know today. This Victorian London, a city bustling with grandeur and gloom, wealth and poverty, order and chaos. The streets are teeming with horse-drawn carriages, street vendors hawking their wares, and children playing in the soot-covered lanes. A thick, smoky fog shrouds the city, obscuring the sharp contrast between opulent townhouses and ramshackle tenements. Delve deeper into the city's underbelly, and we arrive at Whitechapel, a notorious slum area. It's a world away from the royal palaces and manicured parks. Here, the houses are overcrowded, sanitation is a luxury, and crime a stark reality. The people eke out a living, grappling with destitution and despair. The gaslit streets echo with the sounds of life's daily struggle, while the dark alleyways bear silent witness to countless untold stories. Amidst this malarkey, a specter of terror is about to emerge. The city, already teetering on the edge of societal and economic collapse, is oblivious to the impending horror. In this city of contrasts, a sinister figure lurks in the shadows, ready to leave an indelible mark on history. Stay with us, as Cryptic Mystic Vault unravels the story that's about to unfold. In the late hours of August 31st, 1888, a horrific discovery was made in Whitechapel: the body of Marianne Nichols, brutally murdered. The darkness of Victorian London was pierced by a series of crimes so terrifying they would indelibly mark history. These were the murders attributed to the elusive killer known as Jack the Ripper. 5 women, known as the canonical victims, bore the brunt of his savagery. Marianne Nichols was the first. Her body was found mutilated in a brutal manner that was shocking even by the standards of the time. This gruesome act marked the beginning of a reign of terror that would last until November of that same year. Next was Annie Chapman. She was found just a week later, her end as brutal as Nichols. The killer's modus operandi was becoming clear. He targeted women, often prostitutes, in the late hours of the night, leaving their bodies in a state that sent chills down the spines of even the most hardened investigators. Elizabeth Stride and Catherine Eddowes were murdered on the same night, September 30th, 1888, an evening that would come to be known as the double event. Stride's throat was cut, but her body was not mutilated like the others. Eddowes, however, suffered a fate similar to Nichols and Chapman. The final victim was Mary Jane Kelly, her end being the most horrific of all. Found in her room on November 9th, her body had been so horrifically mutilated that it was barely recognizable as human. The brutality of these murders struck fear into the heart of London. The killer was not just murdering these women, he was butchering them, displaying a level of savagery and disregard for human life that was almost incomprehensible. And then, as quickly as the murders started, they stopped. After Kelly, no further murders were attributed to the Ripper. 5 women, their lives tragically cut short by a killer who vanished as suddenly as he appeared. For over a century, the identity of Jack the Ripper has remained one of history's most enduring mysteries. The list of suspects in this notorious case is long and varied, each carrying their own set of theories and evidence. Montague John Druitt, a barrister and schoolteacher, was considered a viable suspect due to his sudden suicide shortly after the last murder. Then there was Michael Ostrog, a Russian-born conman and thief, whose criminal background and mental instability made him a likely candidate. But among all these suspects, one name stands out: Aaron Kosminski. A Polish immigrant who lived in the heart of Whitechapel during the Ripper's reign, Kosminski was committed to an asylum at the young age of 23. He exhibited signs of severe psychological problems, showed violent tendencies, and his timeline in Whitechapel coincided perfectly with the Ripper's activity. What sets Kosminski apart from the rest is a piece of compelling evidence that surfaced in the 21st century. A shawl found at the scene of Catherine Eddowes' murder, one of the Ripper's victims, was preserved over the decades. This shawl was eventually purchased by businessman Russell Edwards in 2007, who then undertook a 3-year investigation. Utilizing cutting-edge DNA identification methods, researchers traced the hereditary descent from the victim and Scotland Yard's list of suspects. The DNA on the shawl was matched to none other than Aaron Kosminski. This significant discovery has been considered a breakthrough in the case of Jack the Ripper, bringing us a step closer to unmasking the infamous killer. So, does this mean the case is closed? While the DNA evidence does point strongly towards Kosminski, it's important to note that some experts have questioned the validity of the findings. Critics argue that the shawl could have been contaminated over the years, casting doubt on the DNA results. While modern science has shed new light on this age-old mystery, the identity of Jack the Ripper remains a subject of debate and fascination. Your feedback helps us improve, so don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Remember, the world is full of mysteries waiting to be solved. Join us next time as we delve into another